Toot, toot, baby, it's time to ride the funk train. I know this is going to be shot out into the cosmos, and no one's going to watch this because this is not a New York Jets. This is not a New York Jets channel, but with what's been going on, let me see. Working. Is the mic working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. With what's been going on as a New York Jets fan, I even dusted off this ancient effing Jets jersey out of the closet to talk about what's happening. This has been a crazy mental health week for me. I mean, it's been the emotional roller coaster of Monday night is something that I've actually had friends of mine message me who aren't Jets fans, who don't care about the New York Jets or anything like that, but they've messaged me and they were like, this feels like somebody died. I know that seems extreme in a way, but the buildup of Aaron Rodgers coming to New York, the culture change, it seems like there was a culture change. The good team got better. He's at the Taylor Swift concert dancing around like a fruitcake. He's seemingly taking a new interest. He's participating in OTAs. He's building people up. The fourth episode of Hard Knocks, where he's sitting there and he gets pissed off because the offense sucks, and he sits there and he doodles in the dirt for a few minutes, and he starts talking about. He starts coming up with new ways to attack schemes and stuff, and come up with some new hijinks for the offense. It just doesn't seem fair because it's this guy just built up. He came out there 9/11, comes out there with the American flag, looks like Captain America under the lights. We're wearing the all-white unis, which looked great, by the way. We should keep those because I hate the new helmets. I've always hated the new helmets. But 4 plays in, 75 seconds. And you're sitting there like, he got hurt, and the offensive line did not look great in the beginning. And I think the NFL hates the Jets. I mean, 2 of the best defenses in the league, and then 3 out of the 4 weeks, you got to take on the Eagles too. I mean, it's just like these incredible pass rushing teams. It just, why couldn't we open up with the Commanders or something? So looking at all that, I want to put this out into the ether because this is an original take that nobody anywhere has talked about. And this is something I think that every Jets fan needs to realize. And it's something that we all have to come to grips with, is that we knew this was going to happen. The offensive line, I'm not as big as a skeptic as everybody else. It's the health of the offensive line. The health of the offensive line is what's been scary. But they all got through game 1. Mekhi Becton, Dwayne Brown, everybody pulled through. AVT, they all went through game 1 against a very tough line, and they didn't get injured. Nobody besides Aaron Rodgers got injured in this game. So you look at the positives of that, and they sucked in the beginning. They weren't gelling very well, but the pass protection improved over the course of the game, which makes me wonder. There's a few culprits. I mean, there's a picture of Dwayne Brown on the ground doing a cut block, and the right end was able to scoot around him pretty well. And so you got Dwayne Brown on the ground hitting Aaron Rodgers, but it was a 3-step drop pass. Aaron held onto the ball. The cut block does not sustain a block. It's supposed to cut somebody's legs out from under him, and you're supposed to get rid of the ball. And the reason you do that is because the human being has to put his hands down and be like, oh, shit, I'm about to fall on my face. And so he can't jump up in the air. He's got to kind of protect his legs. So Aaron Rodgers held on the ball, and there's this talk about turf. I have no idea if the turf, it was a contact injury. if Aaron Rodgers was just out there and he didn't even get touched and the thing ruptured, then yes, I would point to the turf. The turf doesn't help. They need to go to grass anyway. All the players like it. I don't know why they don't do it. But I don't blame Dwayne Brown. I don't blame the turf. And even though Aaron Rodgers held on the ball, and by the way, he didn't hit a wide open Garrett Wilson that was cutting across the field, I'm not going to blame Aaron Rodgers. He's 39 years old, and this is the truth that I think all Jets fans have to take, is that we knew this was going to happen. As much as we didn't want this to happen, this is a guy that hardly ever gets injured, but this was a weird line that wasn't gelled. We were playing back to back to back to back, great defenses that love to just put pressure on the quarterback and can do it. I think we all knew it was going to happen. And we couldn't believe it was happening with our own brains, but I do think it was something that we knew deep down inside that Aaron Rodgers was going to get injured this year. Not 75 seconds in, per se, which I kind of wish they were running the ball more, but you can't go back in time. So let's talk about the game for a second. So you have this, it looked like a sniper took out Jesus Christ or Captain America. It was just the worst. Somebody shot Santa Claus, something like that. It was just the worst thing to see. Is this guy, all the hype, he goes down. Now, we'll tell you this. This is what's impressive. The team beat the Bills. The Bills are probably one of the top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 teams in the league. Monday Night Football, 9/11, spotlight on Aaron Rodgers. He goes down in 75 seconds in, and the team wins. That shows me they got moxie. And above the offensive line, above Aaron Rodgers being 39 years old, my biggest question mark for the New York Jets was the coaching staff. Because Saleh, hell of a man. I wish the guy was like a trainer down at my gym. You know, he would make me walk on water and throw school buses across the street. I mean, that's the kind of guy you want. But is he a good X's and O's quarterback? I've watched a lot of football. What I noticed with my dumb ass brain is that the Jets changed the game plan midway through, especially at halftime, to benefit Zach Wilson. And there's a lot of coaches and a lot of coordinators out there who are so stubborn, especially in like college and stuff, like, we're going to run the Delaware wing tee, damn it. That's what we do. Or we run out of the I formation. But this was an offense. There were times during the game where there were 3 tight ends, and it was just like, dude, we're going to effing run the football. And Hackett is a guy, when he was an offensive coordinator down in Jacksonville, they were the best running team in the league, a team that went to the AFC Championship game. And when he was with Green Bay, they threw the ball 50 times a game when they had Aaron Rodgers. So this is a fluid type situation. And I think they took it on the chin, bada boom, right in the mouth, and they hung on and won the game. And you've got this supposed all-star across the street, Josh Allen. If Zach Wilson played like him, there would be a gallows in Times Square this week with a swinging number 2 hanging from a rope. I mean, Josh Allen played terrible, and Zach did enough. His quarterback rating was over 81. He threw a terrible interception, but he was 3 out of 4 on third down throws in the second half, and he did what he had to do. I'm cautiously optimistic about Zach because he seems like a different person. He does have still the element of dumb. His touchdown pass was not a good throw. I mean, that was all Garrett Wilson, but he threw it, and he audibled out of it. It was supposed to be a run play. That I applaud. The running backward for 30 yards, throwing the ball over your head or whatever, and the interception, Jesus. I hope to God those things become fewer and fewer, and that this team he can become a game manager. Because the conversation this week is, well, who do we get to replace Aaron Rodgers? And the first thought, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not playing for the New York Jets. Nobody is giving up anybody like Mishnu or Heineke or anybody like this. Nobody's giving up their quality number 2 backs. You could give them you could drive up a Brinks truck and give them all sorts of draft picks. People aren't going to get rid of their number 2 quarterbacks for this very reason, because quarterbacks don't play the season's too long. They don't play 17 games. They always get hurt a little bit through the year. So you're going to have to bring in somebody like Nick Foles or somebody like Carson Wentz, somebody who's not on a roster, and there's a reason they're not on a roster. So this is Zach Wilson's team, and too bad for him. The schedule is daunting in the beginning. But it seems like a different Jets organization than we used to have. It seems like there's better personnel, there's better juju. We're healthy as a team, and we get to experience this together. And if the team can keep playing well, defense, special teams, and the running attack, I think Zach's going to be okay. At least I hope to God he is. We won the game. I think that takes a lot of moxie. But the thing that scares me about Zach the most is that he did look like a crazy person at times. You've got this guy who, the upside to Zach is he's got a better body than Rodgers because he's younger. He's faster and more mobile than Rodgers, and he's got a huge arm. It's just the head up stuff. Can he get out of his own way? Can he get his beautiful face out of his ass and just do what he needs to do? Is he going to try to, Josh Allen played like the old Zach Wilson Monday night. The interceptions he threw and the butt fumble. I mean, Mark Sanchez even tweeted out, hey, did you see the butt fumble? Josh Allen's had a butt fumble. There was just too much going on where that wouldn't be a meme. And that wouldn't catch on. But, I mean, he just ran into his own dude and fell down and dropped the football. What? I mean, what the hell was up? I mean, it was like somebody put a curse on Josh Allen. The problem, though, even though I'm impressed with the coaching staff, I really am, probably the first time ever with Saleh as a coach, the whole room, the whole juju and the whole team energy and what it took to win that game was amazing. You're not going to get 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions, a fumble, and a punt return for a touchdown every week. So we got to figure out how to move the ball, and that's scary. I watched a lot of football this last weekend because I was excited about us being on Monday night, and I watched the Giants game, the Saints game, and something else, and everybody looked kind of crappy. It was week 1, and looking back optimistically, Zach looked okay. He wasn't the end. It wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't the worst. He wasn't the worst performance. He didn't look like the worst quarterback. And our offensive line didn't look like by the second quarter or the second half, I think our offensive line looked good. So there's reason to be optimistic. And Nathaniel Hackett's positivity, I think, is something that is infectious and can lift Zach up when he makes a mistake. It seems like the team really is going to support Zach, and they know what they have. They know it's not number 8 anymore, but maybe, hopefully, Aaron Rodgers can get on a damn jazzy and come to the games and just kind of be there and be a coach, which will be awesome. So as a Jets fan, you're sitting there going, well, the Super Bowl aspirations are probably out the window. High 90% chance we're not making it to the Super Bowl. But can we make the playoffs? I don't want a winning record. I want to make the playoffs. Can we do that? Well, there's some optimism. The win against Buffalo bought the Jets some time. Everybody who was a Jets fan, when they looked at the first 6 games, we all said, even with Aaron Rodgers, if we go 3-3 or we go 4-2, we're going to be okay. Even if we go 2-4 in the first 6 games, we're going to be okay because the team's going to get better as it goes. With that being said, Okay, if 2-4 was what we were wanting, we've already got one of those. So now we just have to go 1-4 or 2-3 or 2-2. So let's look at this real quick. We're already 1-0, so bravo. Good job, Jets. The Cowboys. The Cowboys are a scary team. It's a short week. Their their defensive front is insane. I do think Dak Prescott is a little overrated, and he's a turnover machine. And if the Jets can get a couple of turnovers from Mr. Prescott, I do think it's going to be a close game. I do think in this one, short week, on the road against the Cowboys team that is everything seems to be on defense, firing on all cylinders. That one could get ugly. Like we could get boat raced in that. But if we don't turn the ball over and we get a couple from Mr. Prescott, I think this could be a close game. I don't think we'll win next week. I don't think most Jets fans would have thought Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets would have beat the Cowboys. So I think we'll go 1-1 out of the gate. The next week is really, I think, the most important game in the whole GD season. The Patriots, are predicted to be in fourth place this year. You have to beat the Patriots if you want to be taken seriously as a playoff contender and a Super Bowl contender. The thing that scares me about this is I think Bill Belichick has Zach Wilson's just number. I mean, the Patriots game last year is why he got fired from being a starting quarterback. I mean, he's 2 yards of offense in the second half. Will that happen this year? Probably not. But I don't trust Zach. And, man, I just think the Patriots are going to get us that third week. That one may be the fulcrum of the whole season. If we win that game, that puts a different paint job on everything. If we lose that game, it's going to feel a lot like last year. The Chiefs coming into town, no way. I mean, I don't see it. They're the world champs. They had a bad game. They're going to be wanting blood. I'm sure they're starting Kelsey or whatever his name is. The receivers coming back. Going to be a rough one. So we're going to start off 1-3. But here's where things can change for the better. The Broncos are in transition. And even though the NFL hates our guts and they keep putting us on the road, I think our team is better than it was last year. And we beat the Broncos pretty good. We're going to have some PTSD for AVT and Breece Hall. But I think we go out there and we thump the Broncos pretty good. Then the Eagles are in town. Not a chance. So we're going to start off 2-4. Here's the question. Can the New York media lay off this Zach Wilson kid? Can we believe in the plan enough to do what I think we can do for the rest of the season? Because we have the Giants coming in, and I think we will absolutely do exactly what the Cowboys did to the Giants this weekend and just run over the Giants' O-line. The Chargers seem to choke. They're going to be here, which is good. If we went out there, I think we would lose. But I think them having to come all the way to New York, I think we're going to get them. That evens it up at 4-4. At the Raiders, I think we're much more talented than the Raiders. That'll be a pretty good game. But I think we're going to thump them. I think the Bills get us in a return match. And here's another game. At this point in the season, this will be week 12. Tua is not going to be standing upright, I don't think. He had a great game 1. I hope nothing happens to Tua. I hope he has a long life, and I'm worried about the boy's health. I'm worried that this guy is going to really, like by the time he's my age, he's going to be drinking out of a straw, eating soup out of a straw or something. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think we're going to get the Dolphins. I do think we're going to get the Dolphins at home. I think we're better than the Falcons. We're going to get them. We're going to get the Texans, obviously. The return match with Miami, I think we're going to drop. We're going to crush the Commanders. And then here's another game. There's 3 games on this schedule that's like, ugh. If we beat the Browns and lose to the Pats in Foxborough, we will be 10-7. It's going to be tough. Can we make the playoffs with that record? It really depends on a lot of the tiebreakers because the AFC is strong, and I think there's going to be a lot of tiebreakers. However, sweet children, my prediction this year was that we would win 10 games. Next year, I was hoping we would win more. But you got to realize this was a team that went 7 and 10 last year for a reason. I think 10-7 is very doable. However, there's 3 games on the first Patriots game at the Browns and the Dolphins at home. Those are the 3 most important games on the schedule that if we win those games, we will make the playoffs. If we don't, we're going to be in trouble. So what do we do? If we go 7-10 again, do we fire Saleh? Do we clean house? I don't know. This is a crucial year for Saleh because this Aaron Rodgers thing, even before the injury, was a national news story. This was going out to everyone in the universe. Everybody was talking about it. And so yeah, there's a lot of attention, and I think there's a lot of sympathy with the New York Jets right now. So if the Jets tank and they go 7-10, which is wildly disappointing, especially with all these terrific young players, there's so many good players, I don't think Saleh is going to lose it. If we go 10-7 and win a playoff game with what happened, I think Saleh would be up for Coach of the Year. 8-9 would suck. 9-8 would suck. I really hope we can win 10 games. If the football gods shine upon us and smile, I think we could beat the Cowboys. I don't think we are, but you look at the matchup next week, and so if we're 2-0, wow, that's good. And if we start this season off 3 wins, no losses, if we can somehow defeat the mind games of Bill Belichick, if Zach Wilson can we put like a aluminum cone on his head so like his evil telepathy couldn't get into Zach's beautiful blonde hair and blue eye head. If we start off this season 3-0, we're going to take some losses after that with the Eagles and the Dolphins and the Chiefs and stuff like that, but we can weather the storm a lot better. I think the Cowboys defense is as good as ours, if not a hair better. I think our special teams is better than theirs, and their running game sucks, and Zach Prescott is a turnover machine. Our offensive line still needing to gel, and we have no idea what we have with Zach Wilson yet. I think we have the best receiver of both teams. I think we have the best running backs of both teams. I think we have a better defensive line, and I think our back end is just as good. So it should be a knife fight. I think we're going to just be on this precipice all year. When is the bottom going to fall out? And is there enough positivity, enough support, and can people talk to this kid enough to where his brain gets right and he becomes what he's supposed to be? He's got the physical skills. He's got the arm. He can run. Can he get out of his own way? And if Zach Wilson can get out of his own way, 9, 10, 11, 12 wins is definitely a possibility with the special teams, 2 top 10 running backs, an offensive line that's healthy at the moment, and it's just out of sight special teams and just world-class defense. I think there's hope. This makes the year fun. It also makes it very stressful. This is why I don't normally watch Jets games, even though I'm a huge Jets fan, is because I just can't take the disappointment. That's all I've been thinking about all week. I've got so much going on. We're releasing movies. Camp Smokey is a horror comedy from Big and Funky Productions, which will be out by Halloween. You can go to our store at bigandfunkyproductions.com and buy autographed DVDs, Blu-rays, T-shirts, the whole bit. Don't forget WJHC AM, which is a horror comedy we released last year, the #1 horror comedy in the world last year. according to IMDb. And then also we've got The Hike, which is massively popular. And I was just in a movie called Vinnie's Vantastic Rock and Roll Adventure, which was a 14-state tour de force hard luck road comedy. And I was honored to be in that. And that is being shown on asytv.com. asytv.com. And that will be on streamers later in the year. Anyway, if you're a Jets fan like me, let's just speak nice to one another and hush tones and let the car in front of you. And because we're this close from climbing the bell tower with a sniper rifle, I think. We just all need to take it easy. I drank a lot of coffee watching the game, and I could not get my heart rate to lower for 2 hours after the game Monday night. So no more coffee for the Jets this year. And hopefully I don't die of a heart attack. Carl, the Jets killed Carl and a little bit of the Knicks, if you any Curb Your Enthusiasm fans out there. But I think this could be a fun year, and it could be a very special year if Zach Wilson grows up in front of our eyes. Man, wouldn't that be awesome? God, that would be awesome. All right, JETS, Jets. Talk to you later, guys. Believe in the funk.